let's go to some entertainment news. I know I've been talking about sports. I've been talking about politics since I started recording. But now let's talk about some entertainment and just bring the tone down. Bring the tone down a little bit. And today we're going to talk about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian football player. He's the number one right now, scoring goals all over the place. I have a video I'm going to play here. First off, I have to give him his props. The topic I have here today is why Victor Osimhen Manchester United deal fell apart. But before anything, I'm going to give him his props. And I have a video here to give him his props. And then I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, why the deal fell apart. All right, let's share the screen and go from there.
Season Victor Osimhen is having 35 goals in 39 games. He just scored 2 goals tonight to help Galatasaray to win the Turkish Cup. He has won his first trophy with Galatasaray. Osimhen is a baller. He has pace, he has strength, physicality, directness, shot power, good in the air. Like, what else do you need from a striker that Osimhen does not have? What else do you need? Barcelona, begin to look this direction. Oh. That is where our idea. If I say the queue long and the money go long too, when I go shift your eye now, they go Osimhen side. Because we need a striker. And Osimhen is looking like a striker that will give us things. I'm just imagining him with all those runs that he's making, all those intelligent runs that he makes into the box. Like, he knows how to position himself and make those direct darting runs into the box all the time. And he's so strong. Like, look at the first goal he scored tonight. Look at the way he just jammed that guy. Like, he said, come on, sit down there. You don't chop. You know that they chop fufu. He didn't whine me. Come on, sit down there. The guy, you're like that. You don't carry the ball, whine and put inside post. Second goal was a tapping, but come on. You cannot call top 5 strikers in the world right now and not call Victor Osimhen as one of the top 5. You cannot call top 5 strikers in the world without including the name Victor Osimhen. If you do it, you are biased. I'm gonna leave. Victor Osimhen, Baba me, I beg. If you go fit reduce that your salary small, I'll fit talk to Joan Laporta. We'll see how we go take do the deal. Say back, I will not to get bread like that. And we are trying to reduce our salary scale. I have said a salary for Chelsea. If you feel reduce your salary small, just bring them down to like 200K a week or like 150K. Just do them for your Niger brother. I will personally speak to Joan Laporta, tell her 1 or 2 things. They'll carry you come back. You go enjoy ball. Trust me, Victor. See, make I tell you, we have Lamine Yamal. You go chop assist tire. Lamine Yamal going to feed you. Rafinha going to feed you. Pedri going to feed you. Like, people are going to feed you goals, then plenty. Just bring down your salary small. I promise you, you'll be in Barcelona by next week. Nice one. And the league title is coming up.
All right. I mean, you can't go wrong with Victor Osimhen, that's for sure. You just can't go wrong, right? Prolific striker, that's for sure. He got over 30 goals this season. Just what? At Galatasaray. He had these issues at Napoli, and then he ultimately in the January transfer, I think, or was it very late transfer? He transferred to Galatasaray, not in January, by the way, but before the transfer window was closed in the summer of last season. He went to Galatasaray. He signed for Galatasaray in Turkey. Hey, not to say shit about Turkey, the Turkish league, right? But that's not the biggest league in the world. You have the Premier League, you have the German league, you have the La Liga. Before you even talk about the Turkish league, you talk about the French league. So the Turkish league is there, but it's not as competitive as the other leagues I just mentioned, right? So it's not necessarily a downgrade because he's getting paid for sure. But if you want to get paid ultimately, you might as well pack your load and just go to Saudi Arabia, in my opinion. If you want to get, if money is the issue, you might as well pack your load and just go to Saudi Arabia. In my opinion, again, just take your things and go to Saudi Arabia. Easy. Make what? As much as you want, as millions and millions of dollars or euros, as much as you want, if that's what you want to do. But if you want to do legacy, If you want to do legacy, if legacy is what you want to do, then you have to come to the big leagues. And the big leagues, definitely, it's not the Turkish league, unfortunately. You can do all the wonders you want to do, but the biggest players in the world didn't get the legend status that they got in the Turkish league. They got it from England, they got it from Spain, they got it from Germany, and France. They didn't get it from Turkish league. Turkish league is not even part of the question, in my opinion. And Manchester United, they were in line to buy Osimhen, and that deal fell apart, which is very unfortunate. I think he's deserving of whatever amount of money he is requesting for. I think you've earned it. I think he has earned it. I mean, he's shown us how prolific he is. And by the way, Napoli just won the Italian league. They just won it without you. So what are we going to say about that? They didn't need you. We can all agree that they didn't need you, right? They just won the Italian league, and they did that without you. So they didn't need you. That's just what it is, right? They didn't need you. Sadly, Conte, he's a great coach, and he did what he had to do, and here we are. The issue here is not in my opinion, the issue here is not the money that you are demanding. The issue here, in my opinion, is representation. The people representing you in those rooms, they're not doing the best job for you. The likes of Ronaldo had great representation. The likes of Ronaldo. And by the way, Victor Osimhen's former agent was Robert Calendar. I don't know who this person is, but I can do a quick search here and say Robert Calendar and try to see who is on his roster. Let's see who's on his roster. Robert Calendar. I'm opening up his profile. The biggest star on his profile has to be Osimhen. It has to be. It has to be. The biggest star on his profile has to be Victor Osimhen. Yep, I'm looking at his profile now. He has Victor Osimhen, obviously. And there are other players there, but these guys are nowhere close to Victor Osimhen's status. And it's just what it is. So here we have his clients: Gerard Yepes, Juan Jesus, Maicon. These are even some retired people, right? Some retired players. He used to have Victor Osimhen on his roster, but not anymore. But Victor Osimhen was the biggest client that he ever had on his roster. And now Victor Osimhen has a different agent, George Gardi. Now let's see who George Gardi is, right? Control V, George Gardi. I'm gonna see the people that are on his roster. George Gardi management. I don't think Victor Osimhen is even signed to him per se. I don't think Victor Osimhen is signed to George Gardi per se. He just helped him liaise that contract to Galatasaray. I'm still doing some research here. I can't find Victor Osimhen on his roster, unfortunately. Now, let's take this away from Victor Osimhen and let's go to C. Ronaldo, arguably one of the biggest stars in football history ever. The biggest, one of the biggest ever that has ever kicked a football, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, let's do that. His agent is Jorge Mendes. Now, what I'm going to do here is look at the people that are on Jorge Mendes' roster. Let's find the people who are on his roster. I'm just trying to make a comparison here. And his agency, I think, is Gestifut. That's the name of his agency. I think I hit the wrong button there, but let me click the right one here. I'm not getting the information that I want to get here, but Jorge Mendes definitely is one of the biggest agents in football history. In football history too, you know, Jorge Mendes, one of the biggest ever agents in football history too. And guess what Ronaldo did? Ronaldo signed him because what you need is respect. When you go into that room where they negotiate these deals, you as the player, you as the football player, they don't necessarily have that much respect for you because you're just a football player, right? The person who they're going to respect the most is who comes in that room with you or who goes into that room on behalf of you. That's where the deals are done. You don't bring a nobody, and I'm not saying Robert Calendar is a nobody. I'm not saying Gardi is a nobody, but I'm just saying you don't go there by yourself and expect to earn that respect. You need people who know the business, who have these relationships with the club owners to make these deals for you. I think that's what Victor Osimhen is lacking. I don't by any chance think that he needs to bring his price down to get to clubs like Manchester United. No, absolutely not. He scored more goals than maybe even what's his name, Haaland this season. The only person who probably scored more goals than him this season would be what's Mbappe and maybe a few other people. But he's up there with the rest. But it's not just the goals that they look at. It's not just the goals they look at, right? It's your representation. I think what Victor Osimhen needs is to get the best representation that he can lay his hands on and not just try to save cost and make the most out of it. That's not how it's going to work for you. Because if C. Ronaldo, as legendary as he is, hire Jorge Mendes, I think you can do better too. I think you can get someone at that level as well. Someone to represent you who's at that level of Jorge Mendes or even the man Jorge Mendes. I think that's what you need. But hey, man, what do I know, right? I've never played football professionally. I used to play football, by the way, in my secondary school. I was quite good, but I never made it professional, right? But what do I know about football, right? I'm just here talking as a fan. But I honestly think Osimhen deserves even more than £300,000 a week that he is requesting for. I think he deserves more than that from Manchester United because which Manchester United player right now, as we speak, scored half as much goals as he did, right? I think if he goes to Manchester United, he's going to transform the team. But I think he needs better representation. But anyway, with that, I'm going to end this story here, and that will be the end of my recording today. And again, if you've watched up to this point, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, and let us know what we said wrong, what we could do better, and what topics you think we can talk about that you would be interested in. And with that, I'm going to say